Hey, it's Patch Tuesday, and we've got a new one. Real quick before I start going through it, we have a few predictions. One is that Kraken is going to be a bit overpowered now, probably the best monster in the game. Second is that the new perk for monsters is going to get nerfed really quick. And third is that something about the new dropship is going to be changed because Laz is worthless at stage 1 right now, if anything goes down. So that said, let's get into it. Got new skins, of course, fun things. And now we have a little change. Hasn't made a big difference from what I can tell. Where if you leave a game once you've been assigned your role, no, they fixed it. Never mind. This was first time when I read through it. Now, if you leave mid-game, you lose your win streak. Before you could keep your win streak even though you'd be assigned a loss, and so it's possible to leave games when you're about to win in order to keep that high win streak. So this is a good fix for that. It doesn't fix levers in general, but still an improvement. Now this guy here, auto dropship. Basically what happens is before when you would go down, the dropship timer wouldn't end until you were dead or you held whatever your hotkey was to return a dropship, and that would kill you. Now the moment you get downed, it starts the timer, and once it's 5 seconds left on the timer for the dropship, everyone is automatically placed in the dropship so that they automatically go with the actual drop. So this is what I was talking about, Laz being nerfed accidentally. He's basically trash because of this change for stage 1, where the timer, I believe it's 20 seconds at the very start. It might be 10. Either way, you get 10... Wait. So you get 15 seconds to revive them, so 15 seconds of body camping, or you get 5 seconds, depending on what it is. Either way, Laz has no time to get the Lazarus device off in order to prevent that strike, which really sucks for him. It's also not fun as a monster player, because before at stage 1, if I could get a strike off in a dome, now they're going to be up before the dome is down, well before the dome is down. And so I have to fight through that same person twice if I'm going for it, rather than having someone down, reducing the damage output, and being able to either go for a second strike or have my retreat a bit safer because they have to revive him after the retreat goes on. This thing's a little fun just because it stops instant dropship fights. I want to say 30% based on the damage resistant buff text. Either way, they get hit less hard, and so you can't stage 1 wipe them immediately, no matter how bad they are. Now this thing makes it a bit easier. Before, the albinos were a lot harder to notice. You basically had to be on top of them for the icon to show up. Now they're giant beams of light. Yeah, good improvement just for UI stuff. Take a break's been removed, not a real impact for me, but I guess it's good if you have AFK players. It also fixed the people who changed their Steam name to idle:name to troll, but that's not a big impact either. Now you can be kicked a lot faster. I need to stop that. Let's see, clarity updates. These are again quality of life changes, and so now just some UI improvements. This one helps the glowing bright white. That prevents you from missing out which one's the decoy, which one's the real one in the supernova. So that's pretty good. But it still gets the buffs from supernova, so it's just clarity to help you identify things. We also get a new perk. This is the one I mentioned, which I think will be too strong. Right now you can reduce, what is that, 35 plus... Basically you kill their abilities. Reduce their jump height with some poison. Reduce their jetpack strength, or jetpack efficiency, so reduce their ability to fly for an extended time by a lot, as well as DPS. And then poison and thrust reduction, so you go less far when you boost. And all of these combined make it really hard to dodge things. Anyways, next one. Sudden death timer extended. This means if, for example, they dome you and then hide in the corner and play super safe as hunters, then you get a bit more time to fight at stage 3 because you can freeze the timer at 5 minutes instead of 4. So those extra minutes really add up when you can stop the timer during those time. This thing here, dome disable time after a hunter gets down, increased to 15 seconds. This is a huge change for the way I play because in one of my previous videos I mentioned picking your battles where you engage on them when the dome timer is currently active. This gives you slightly more time to actually put yourself at higher risk. So for example, say there's 20 seconds left on the dome timer. If you get the down at the 0-second mark when it comes up, you now have 15 seconds to back off, or you have like 10 seconds to continue, maybe 5 seconds to continue focusing someone else before you have to retreat, as opposed to before, which it just gives you a little more leeway when you're engaging safely. And then of course if you go on someone who's alone and they have dome ready, and you manage to drop them before rescue comes, you can just bail immediately without having any punishment. So next thing. Reduce the amount monsters are slowed using melee attacks. This just means you can keep pressure faster. Before, what would happen is you were slowed 47% every time you go for a melee until it finished. Now it's only 35, so that lets you stay on them a bit better. These are all perk buffs, so you get bigger smell range for enhanced senses, which is huge in my opinion because smell range is one of the best perks in general, just for the information it gives you. Brawler gives you better climb speed and traversal regen, which is making me really consider taking Brawler. It's something a lot of people have suggested in the past, and I'm going to be using it a lot more now. Fast Climber buffed a lot. They duplicated that line. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. And then Fast Climber traversal regen increase, that's really good too. Let's see, Mutated Senses buffed again. Same reason as before. Speed Climber buffed just like Fast Climber was. Mutated Recovery cooldown is buffed. Mutated Haste buffed. So basically a lot of mobility perks and knowledge perks are buffed right now, which I'm pretty happy about because that's things that I use anyways. Brawler of course buffed again to compensate the previous buff so that they're not too similar. Evolved Recovery buffed again. I am very happy with these because these are all ones I've been testing out and now they're even better than they were. Bonus move speed from haste and ending endurance buffed. These are all really good for me and really good for both in domes and out, so you can be more mobile in the dome and you can also escape easier. Goliath traversal cooldown reduced. Pardon me. He has a lot of problems being harpooned constantly, so I'm pretty happy with that. I might actually play him more now. And his Flame Breath got buffed. Meteor Goliath got shorter traversal cooldown. And this typo here, 182 seconds, that's not right. What else? Ooh, that's a good bug fix. I didn't even know that was in the game, but that would have been really frustrating. Kraken, this is the one I mentioned, will be extremely strong. Banshee launch speed increase from 60 or 260 from 50. That was a typo earlier. It used to say 250 from 60. Anyways, Banshee mines are easier to land now. They're harder to shoot because they're moving faster, and they're also easier to get them into position because they are moving faster. I need to stop that thing, that beeping. Homing speed increase, so they chase better. Stamina delay cut down, which I'm really happy about. I don't know what it means, but I'm thinking based on what I've heard, before you would use your traversal and it would have to wait 0.25 seconds in order to regenerate your traverse, or to start the regeneration of your next traversal. And so spamming them could increase the cooldown. But yeah, and so everyone I think has that fix. So now stamina recharge starts the moment you use it anyways. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I saw it on Behemoth, where I guess Behemoth and all characters that have this fix. But it's easier to see on Behemoth. If you were rolling and you stopped, you'd have to wait a second before your traversal would regenerate again. So now it lets you move and stop moving and then resume moving a lot better with less punishment. So Hunter changes. Spore Cloud reveal time 1.5 from 2. I don't know what that is. I think that might be the delay on which it would impact the monster's senses from Slim, but I don't know why that's not under Slim. That's a weird one. I'll have to ask about it. But it's a buff to Slim Spore Cloud, which he needs, and it's already terrible. This won't fix it. Perk changes, reloader speed reduced. It was already really strong, and yeah, they're both reduced because they were like mandatory on Kyra, and I use it a lot on Hank because it was obscenely good. Sunny had the same benefit. Those are the main ones I can think of who are too strong with it. Oops, too far. Assault, this is useful. I don't think it's major. Usually I just bait out the defense matrix and then focus someone else. But when he's the last one, it means he's easier to kill, which I appreciate. This is a buff that I'm really happy about. They nerfed Blitz Markov. He's becoming much more close range, whereas regular Markov is becoming much more long range and much more reliable, which I think puts them in good positions relative to each other. Torvald, they buffed his mortar cannon, making it easier to land shots reliably. They don't go as random anymore. They're easier to hit because they have larger explosion radius for minimum damage. Am I wrong about that? I don't know the exact what this means, but basically they're easier to hit with. And then priming distance decrease, it's easier to shoot your feet. And so if the monster's going onto you, it's a lot easier to hit him, because normally you can't shoot right next to you. You still can't, but now it's closer to you where you can shoot. They nerfed Parnell slightly. I don't know how many pellets this is. So this could be anywhere from like 10 to 15 damage per shot. Might be less, might be more. If I had to guess, it'd be around 10 damage per shot that he loses. Griffin Harpoon Gun got nerfed, and line of sight break time got nerfed as well. Before, basically what you could do is, if you were Monster and Griffin were standing at max distance and there was a cliff or a pillar, a spire in the middle, if the monster walked in front of the or behind the pillar so that the tether went between them, it would take a second to break. Now it takes half a second, so that's a bit more reasonable. It's a bit more fair for the monster. And then the nerf to the reload time is because his chase ability is brutal. You've got like 60-meter range on it, and you can full stop a traversal, so it's really painful to be followed by Griffin. Electro Griffin isn't as bad because his harpoon range is only 30, and so if you can get out of range of that, you're fine. I think it's 30. These are estimates. Jack Repulsor reload time increased. He's annoying, but I haven't had too many troubles with him, so I'm not convinced I agree with it. Cabot, self-shield burst. He's less defensive on himself, and he can amp less total damage. He got nerfed a little. Sunny now has a 6-second cooldown. This is something I was really happy to see, because basically you could break it and she could plant it instantly, and you could even plant it while you were running as her, and the monster would have to break it and then it'd be back up the instant it was gone. So now she has to pick her locations a lot more, and if the monster takes it down, there's a bit of a delay. Like if she gets it set up across the dome and then you go break it, she can set it instantly, but then if you break it the second time, it can go up again. And she also lost some defensive ability. Hank lost self-defensive ability, and his decay on his shield is increased, so that means it fades faster, so you can't blow it early as much. Tech Hank, he got his projection shield nerfed again. It takes longer for you to build up your shield, which also means it doesn't act like a 50 health per, or 56 health per second heal, because that's kind of what it was used for a lot. And when you had like Val, for example, that comes out to like 150 health per second that are being blocked or regenerated. And of course his shield burst cooldown is reduced or increased, so that means he can't be blowing that up as much. Now Laz got buffed technically. When Cloak is active, Laz heals 40 health per second, but because of the dropship changes, he can't revive anyone in time is the problem. You have to be basically touching them when they go down and holding the button already in order to actually revive someone. He's just more survivable. And then his damage got nerfed. He doesn't amplify people's damage as much. Val got the same sort of nerf as Laz. God, it used to be 2 times for Val and 1.5 for Laz. It's crazy how much this has changed. Rogue Val got nerfed. Her self-healing and aura healing got reduced. Her chain med gun, oh god, that's a huge nerf. That is brutal. She loses a total of 12 health per second on a friendly target. And 2 health per second on herself. So she dies a lot easier. Poison nerfed and sniper rifle nerfed. I guess she was just putting out too much damage in addition to her massive AoE healing. And considering she is much more damaged than standard Val, I can see why they're doing that. What's the total healing per second now on a single target? It's 105 versus, I think, standard Val is 110 or so. Yeah, they're definitely trying to bring down her single target healing. But her damage apparently is too massive right now as well. Bug fixes. Wait, did I skip the Kraken change? I thought I discussed it. Kraken. These things. I didn't talk about them. I got distracted by the reduced stamina recharge. These guys are brutal. Basically, so the new perks, the ones that reduce your jetpack efficiency and all that, as well as poisons, you can apply to the snowballs, which are the ranged balls that he throws out from the sky and can only be thrown while he's in the air. Which means if you stack up on the slow one, you can basically make it so they can't dodge your lightning strikes, which is obscene, and that's why I think he'll be the strongest monster for a while until they change something about that. What else? Rain puddle shaders not being properly displayed. That's a bug fix. Tech. Oh, that's a good one. Basically what you could do is put your shield applicator thing, I don't know what it's called, onto a friendly, max out their shield and then shield burst, and that would increase it. And you could basically double their health pool, which is a little silly. Now, you've still got the cap. So for example, say the absolute maximum you can apply for a shield is 60% their health. You can shield burst to get everyone up to like 20 and then apply it individually to get it up to 60%. Before you could get everyone up to 60% and shield burst and they'd be up at 80%. Those are just values I pulled out of my head. I don't know the actual numbers. Occluder issues, bug fix, performance drop. That's nice. I was having weird issues in general, so I'm happy about those. And that's the patch. Be careful of Kraken. Good luck.